What's going on, guys? Today is the day. I am super excited. Last night's stream, I was teasing that I had a new card that I'd picked up. I'm really excited to announce it. I am going to keep you guys waiting for a little bit. I want to talk about this before we go over this card that I finally have in my collection. I am super stoked about it. It crosses off a huge goal for me with my collection goals. But first off, I used the eBay vault, or I used the new PSA vault. It took about 3 weeks. It took 3 days for the card to get to the eBay hub, and then it took 3 weeks for the card to get to the PSA vault for it to be in the vault and then withdrawable from the vault and then delivered to my home. So that took about a 3-week turnaround. They didn't charge anything for the withdrawal. I think they're doing that this month as they're taking over the old eBay vault, and it's now going over to PSA. So rest assured, the system does work. It's a pretty good system. It doesn't work for everything. Some auctions are not able to transfer over to the vault. I got this card through a best offer. This card was listed on eBay for $10,000. I sent a $7,800 offer immediately. I mean, within 5 minutes, I didn't even really look at the card. I just sent an offer because I know I hadn't seen one in a minute pop up on eBay for a reasonable price. And $10,000 was not a reasonable price. That was way, way, way over my budget. But I just said, you know what? Shoot an offer, see what happens. They accepted. They had a wedding coming up, so they needed to cash out. And then I had to cancel the next day because I was like, actually, I do want to send this to the vault. Originally, I was just going to pay the sales tax on it and send it straight to my home because I didn't want to take a risk with a card of this caliber. But then they were like, you know, you could save a little bit with the PSA vault. And I looked into it and I was like, okay, 3% value. Let's go ahead and do it. That'll save me some money. My 2% cash back on my card will offset the taxes I paid on it by only 1%, creating an only 1% charge on the card. But anyways, I know you guys don't care about that stuff, but it's important to me. Now, this card is probably no surprise to most people that have watched this channel. And it's really something I've been talking about for a very, very long time. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to go over before I unveil this card. No, let's go ahead and get right into it. I do want to say there were a lot of amazing auctions that went down this week. A lot of amazing auctions and cards that were just listed in general. I don't know what's going on with the market. Those auctions ended last night. I am going to talk about those probably tomorrow. We're going to go over some of the most incredible auctions that I've seen in a long time. And also some sales, some listings and sales based on best offer that I think are incredible. That are, you know, cards that you just don't see very often pop up on the market. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and let's reveal this absolute beauty and beast of a card. Okay, 3, 2, 1, wham! Gold Star Rayquaza in a beautiful PSA 9 mint. And this one has a hollow orb still near its mouth, kind of falling away from his mouth right there, kind of Rudolph the reindeer. He's got it kind of on his nose almost, but it's very close to his mouth. And if you guys remember, I also have my BGS 9 from before. Now, these may look a little bit different because they are. This is the international copy right here. And this one also has a hollow orb, but this one is kind of special to me because the hollow orb is directly in Rayquaza's mouth. I'm going to try and show this. I have to get it at a certain angle, but you guys can see there, the hollow orb is directly in Rayquaza's mouth. It's what makes this one of the most stunning Rayquaza Gold Star cards out there. It is absolutely incredible that hollow orb is just sitting in his mouth. Perfect. But it is the international copy, and I am extremely picky. I just really, really wanted a PSA copy. Guys, I have 2 Gold Star Rayquazas in my collection right now. One is a BGS 9 with a 9.5 sub and all 9 subs. And then this is a PSA 9. So pretty big deal. Now that I've revealed this card, I actually want to go ahead and say I'm actually considering trading both of these and my first edition Alakazam for a PSA 10 Gold Star Rayquaza. I am actively working on that deal right now. Hopefully we can work something out. Shout out to Grogu, loves cards regardless. Hopefully we can work something out, but regardless, I am so happy with this card, and I told Pete over at Grogu Loves Cards, I told him if we can't work out a deal, no issue. This is the cleanest Gold Star Rayquaza I've seen yet. I'm super picky. I've looked at my fair share of these cards, and honestly, I would have been fine with this one if it was slabbed in a PSA case. So if I can't work out a trade or something, maybe I'll sell it down the road, but I'm going to wait a long time before I probably sell this card. For now, it's just really cool to have both of these, to have the English variant and a PSA slab, and it's in really good condition. We're gonna look over this card very in depth so you guys can see just how quality of a grade this card is. Now, this is an old cert, which you got to be careful with. Sometimes you get old certs and they're just trash. This is not one of those. I've been very grateful and very lucky for some of the older cert cards I picked up in the last year, such as this Crystal Charizard in PSA 10. This was one of the auctions we saw last week. I picked this card up for 10 grand, flat almost, and it is steadily selling around 14, 15,000 right now. I don't know how we can go from a $10,000 sale to a $14,000, $15,000 sale in such a short period of time. I think that's kind of cap. I think this card is probably going to come back down to, like, I don't know, 11 grand max. But incredible card. We had somebody in the live stream last night, Ronnie. I think it was Ronnie Castaneda. I'm not 100% sure, but he got the Crystal PSA 10 Golem that was in auction last night. Big congrats to Ronnie. That was pretty cool for him to pop in the stream and be like, yo, just got the Crystal Golem in a 10. Because I was talking about these auctions, which I'll go over tomorrow. Very exciting stuff. A lot of incredible stuff that popped up on the market. We had a whole Crystal set 10. We had a whole Crystal set 9. We had base set first editions up for auction that sold. We had PSA 10 Gold Stars, PSA 9 Gold Stars. We had so much stuff this past week. So I'm going to talk about a lot of those tomorrow. But okay, back to the Rayquaza. It is an old cert. I actually kind of like the design of the old cert versus the new cert, where this kind of detracts from the overall design. It's very clean. It looks very good. And honestly, also now we've got, I just showed that, but now we have the 3 EX Deoxys Grails, all in PSA 9, all look phenomenal. I will say the difference from the US copy, the English US version versus the international or UK copy, it's very slight. In person, you really don't notice it all that much, and it doesn't really matter because the card it's such an incredible card that regardless of what its print is, it's an honor to own this card. But I do want to have these close up real quick again so you guys can kind of see the difference for yourself. The lines are a lot sharper on the international print, okay? You got a lot sharper lines on this card. It looks very, very nice, very clean. On this one, you might notice that the lines, it almost looks like a kid hand drew the card, right? The lines are, there's a little bit of, I don't know what to call that, a little bit of rougher edges, right? Some people say that the color is more bold, the print is more bold. I don't necessarily know about that. I mean, they're both very, very similar. I thought that the US version was going to look a lot more grayish, but it really doesn't. It looks really, really good once you have it in person. And again, it's kind of cool because yes, I have them in 2 different slabs and they both look good in their own ways, but also I have the US copy and the international, and that's pretty cool to have both of these in grade 9. Gold Star Rayquaza, for anybody that doesn't know this, that's watching the channel, Gold Star Rayquaza has become probably my favorite Pokemon card of all time. I would rate it, for me personally, above all of the trophy cards, even above first edition Charizard, right? If we're not counting value, because the first edition Charizard still stands to be the most expensive card in my collection. Now, if I can get the Rayquaza Gold Star in a PSA 10, that will stand to be the most valuable card in my collection. But, yeah, between these 3, well, and the BGS, but these are my most expensive cards right here. And, yeah, the first edition Charizard definitely takes the cake. We're showing all my favorite cards pretty much in this video right here. But, yeah, I don't know if I'll ever top that card in value. It's getting kind of crazy over here. But yeah, this was huge. From this point, in terms of PSA Gold Star completion, I did sell the Suicune not long ago. I'm really picky. I want a cleaner Suicune. Might even go for a 10. I actually think eventually I will go for the Gold Stars in PSA 10. Gold Stars have become a focus of mine. And that doesn't necessarily mean that I want to sell my PSA 9 set either. I've worked very hard and I've been very diligent and disciplined in trying to create one of the best Gold Star sets in PSA 9. It's not like the grade is the grade. That's not true. The grade is very subjective, and you're either going to have a weak 9, an okay 9, acceptable 9, or a really, really strong 9. And I try and go for really, really strong 9s. And that's why even if I get 10s, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to sell my entire 9 collection. I still think 9s have a ton of room for growth, arguably maybe even more room for growth than the 10s. For example, a PSA 10 Gold Star Gyarados hasn't moved all that much in the last year or two. It really hasn't. It's stayed stable around $9, $10, $11, $12,000. We had one recently sell for 11.4, whereas the Gold Star PSA 9 Gyarados has gone from being a $2,500 card, $2,700 card, $2,900 card, $3,000 card, $3,200, $3,400. Now there's an auction that ended recently at $3,950 for a Gold Star Gyarados and a PSA 9. Now that was a recently graded copy. It was a 9.3 cert, but still blows my mind that it could see that kind of growth within a short period of time. The vintage grails, and I don't know if I'm any part of this movement. I don't know if people watch my videos and they see my reels or my shorts, and they go, this is the way to buy into Pokemon. This is buy rare cards that are scarce, that there's only so many of them out there. I shouldn't even do that because it just means the floodgates are open for everybody to collect the same stuff as me. But for the most part, I do want to show stuff that actually I think works and that I would do, right? Regardless if anybody else is doing it. And I do think that Grail cards and, I like theme decks too, but theme decks are still super niche. I wouldn't say that's a good move, but I would say Grail cards like the Crystals, the Shining First Edition, Base Set First Edition, and Gold Stars. And I would put trophies in there too, but trophies are much harder to get your hands on. But cards like the Gold Stars and First Edition Base and Crystals, they're hard to get, but you can get them in PSA 7, 8, raw. You can get them in PSA 9 for semi-affordable prices. Things really only get crazy when you get into PSA 10 prices. I mean, some of the PSA 9 prices are high. The Crystal Lugia is like $3,000. Obviously, Gold Star Deoxys, Gold Star Rayquaza is obviously a perfect example. A PSA 9 Gold Star card that fetches easily over $8,000. These cards have been in the $9,000-$10,000 area. Again, this was another really, really good pickup of mine. $7,800 all in. I'm really, really stoked that I was able to pick this card up. It's right on the dot of where I would have been happy with playing with it. Okay, now we're going to take some time to pay tribute to this card since it's been such a long time coming. And we're going to look at this card really, really close in the camera. Hopefully the autofocus is on point right now, because I really want you guys to see that this card is very, very clean. It's very, very clean. There's no scratches on the hollow surface at all. I'm stoked with it. And Diana can tell you, and she's in the other room, but if she popped in here, she would tell you that I have been looking at this card. Oh, it literally has an orb on both its upper and lower jaw. It's actually kind of crazy. Literally has a hollow orb on both its upper and lower jaw. That's not the part I care about. I just care about that one big hollow orb. But overall, the Cosmos Hollow pattern is outstanding. I mean, when you get it in the light and you move it around, it really looks gorgeous. I'm really happy to have this card in my collection right now. And there's a big, big hollow orb right here that you can't really see, kind of covered up by its tail. But there's something about this artwork that I just cannot get away from. I don't know if it's the arm coming out at you. I don't know if it's the Fibonacci sequence of just everything swirling into the middle of the card, right to the center of the card. I don't know what it is about this card that I absolutely love so much, but I just do. And to finally have one and have it in PSA 9, which is as good as it's going to get for me, right? This isn't a card that I want to turn around and flip or trade immediately. I don't even really want to do the trade for the PSA 10 because my 9 is good. I know that my 9 is good. I don't need a 10, but having a PSA 10 Gold Star Rayquaza would be one of my ultimate collection goals. And who knows, maybe I don't make a trade, but I'm able to purchase one later down the road for the price that I think is worth it to purchase at, which I believe $38,000 is right at where I would want to buy this card at. People can say, oh, those are old sale prices. You're never going to get that price. People have been telling me since I came into this hobby that there are cards that I cannot get for a certain price. I have been proving people wrong all throughout this journey, buying cards, getting deals, finding stuff for the best price possible. And what's more than that is I've been doing it on eBay too, which people have said like you can't find deals on eBay. That's not true. There are some deals that you can't find locally or in any of these trading groups or on Instagram that you can find on eBay. In fact, I'm seeing a lot of groups and a lot of Instagram profiles that are these big name sellers. No offense to any of you big name sellers out there, but everyone's trying to oversell on these cards. And you can actually get better deals on eBay and then PSA vaulting your card this month without the fee. Even when PSA doesn't have the fee, if you have a cashback rewards on your card and you get 2% back, and like me, like you're pulling it out expecting that fee from the PSA vault is 3%, you're only paying 1% more for the card. So I really think it's worth it to look on your own for these cards than to rely on a middleman service or someone who's really solely just a seller. I mean, yeah, they're collecting and they're selling, but they're using the money that they make off of you to basically fund their collection goals too. When really there's great big name sellers or people that are selling their PC on eBay, and then you're paying the actual collector their money, and you're getting an even better deal too by putting a little bit of time and work. Now, I do understand people that are, I guess, really, really high income earners that don't have time to look on eBay all day. I have a night job, so during the day, I'm scanning eBay listings all day. It's become one of my favorite things to do. It used to be something that I think was a way that I cope with life itself. I would just spend all day looking at eBay listings. But now it's just something that I genuinely enjoy doing. It's just fascinating to me. Even if I don't win the auctions, even if I don't get the deal on the card, I realize now more than ever that I'm in this hobby for the long term and I'm going to see stuff. I'm going to see crazy deals happen down the road. There's always a better deal out there. And I'm really excited for the future of this hobby and as the years go by to see what deals we can get. But anyways, back to the Rayquaza. Okay, let's take a closer look at the Rayquaza. If we look up at the top, we've got some very, very light silvering. You guys can see there's a little bit of silvering at the top here, right? But it's not even on the front of the card. It's like on the very edge of the card that silvering is on the top. And if you guys don't know this, EX Deoxys was known for really, really poor print quality. It was known for people having cards literally peeling and separating, even cards that were freshly out of packs. I mean, if you read the E4 forum and you look at what people have said about EX Deoxys, it's not the best thing in the world. So it's not that the Gold Star Rayquaza is really a super rare card. More so, it's EX Deoxys had horrible print quality, and so it was really tough for this card to even stand the test of time to begin with. This one was probably pulled right out of a pack, and it even has silvering at the top. So it just goes to show. I am trying to see why they gave it a 9, though. I don't think the silvering on this card, and then it's got a dot of silvering on each corner. No bends, no creases, nothing weird, but it does. I'm not even sure if I can get it to show. You guys can see there's a little dot of silvering on that corner, little dot of silvering on this corner. that's how I collect, guys. I don't just like look at the card and go, oh yeah, that looks pretty clean. Like, I'm nitpicking everything. I should get a little blacklight flashlight so that I can like look a little more in depth. That would be cool too, to show you guys blacklight flashlight against the card's back. But like, this stuff is important. Anybody can find cards like this. It's much harder to find them in really, really good condition. Here we've got the back. From first glance, it's really easy to say like, damn, this card was extremely clean and probably deserved a 10 back then. But the closer we get to it, you can see PSA has its reasoning. You've got a white dot right here, barely. I mean, that corner is really good, honestly. Over here, you have another little white dot. I mean, you guys are probably watching this video like, Orion is extremely OCD. If this is what he's worried about, but there's nothing on the side. There's nothing really on this side. But then up on this top edge, again, we get some whitening right here. Let's see if we can get the camera to focus in on that. Really, really hard to see, but you guys should be able to see that little bit of whitening right there. And then on this end right here, really, really hard to see this, but looks like there's just a dot of whitening on there. So the original seller, when I asked them, be transparent with me, I'm already paying for the card, I'm not going to cancel, I'm not going to back out, what's the biggest flaw on the card? And word for word, verbatim, it's got some white dots on the corners. I mean, that is literally the only flaw with this card. In fact, Pete is going to be ridiculous for not making a deal with me for a PSA 10 Gold Star Ray. I mean, honestly, ridiculous. Mine is super clean. I've got the Beckett 9 with good subs, and I'm willing to unload a ton of my sealed collection. Also, I told him, like, if you do want to make a deal, you're going to have to bring, like, a van down to Charlotte, because there's no way I'm shipping and handling all these cases. There's just no way. I'm not going to do that. So I doubt he's wanting to make a drive or anything like that for one card deal, but to me, it's 100% worth it. At the same time, am I willing to drive down all my cases and my cards to make a deal? No, I'm not. So probably the deal won't end up happening, because we're going to need some kind of middleman service or someone to come and pick up everything and transfer it for us. So I have no idea how we could actually make this deal happen, but I really do want to make this deal happen. But regardless, if not, very, very happy with this card. I honestly am surprised that I didn't do more of like an informative video talking about the design of Rayquaza and how it came to be. We know Masakazu Fukuda is the illustrator for all of the Gold Stars, okay? Icon, okay? Legend, incredible. But the actual story of how Rayquaza came to be would be really interesting to me. I will probably add that in a future video, add a little backstory to Rayquaza, because if it's your favorite Pokemon, you should know everything about it, right? You should know the whole origin, how it was designed. One thing I can tell you right now is that, and we talked about this in the stream last night. Also, shout out to everybody who came to the stream last night. We had like 50-something people come out. I started the stream almost like at 11 at night, midnight, after I got off late. We didn't even do an opening. We just hung out, chilled. That was a really, really cool live. Really appreciate you guys coming out to support me and just hang out. Like, that's the future of what I want to see more on the channel as it grows. I just want to hang out. And like give my best advice as I see fit, and also the things that I think actually work versus the things that I think everybody else is doing. But yeah, I appreciate you guys coming out. But yeah, we did talk about this the other night. Sugimori really, really wanted Gen 3 to be special, and they were not doing things by the book for Gen 3. They wanted to change everything. They wanted to drastically do a 180, and they wanted to bring in a whole new generation of Pokemon that are nothing like Gen 1 and Gen 2. And I think Gen 3 successfully did that. We saw a lot of amazing Pokemon. We saw EX Deoxys, Rayquaza, Groudon, Kyogre. We saw the beginning of humanoid type Pokemon, which, as far as I'm concerned, at least Sugimori pointed out in an interview that humanoid Pokemon came into Gen 3. There was never something they thought about with Gen 1 and 2, even if they did that with Gen 1 and 2. I guess you could say Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee were kind of humanoid in their own way. But for the most part, they were going for humanoid designs, and they were going for aggressive Godzilla, kaiju-like designs. They were going for monstrous, large, aggressive-looking, cool creatures. You know, that's what they were going for. And so you have Aggron and Groudon and Kyogre is this incredible kind of a legendary killer whale almost. I mean, that's kind of what I think of Kyogre as. I don't know what you guys think of Kyogre as, but I think of Kyogre as a legendary killer whale almost. And Groudon and Aggron, I love them both the same because they kind of have that Godzilla-esque appeal to me. But Rayquaza is no different from Charizard to me, right? Rayquaza is this incredible mythical dragon that, and its design is unlike anything else in the Pokemon world, right? Rayquaza is essentially a snake. Rayquaza is essentially a flying snake, right? Rayquaza has this really long snake-like body, and then it has small arms, and I don't think Rayquaza even, Rayquaza doesn't have legs. Orion, how could you not know this? I don't think Rayquaza, looking at my shiny Rayquaza over here, shout out to Fortress for sending me this awesome shiny Rayquaza that I love so much that it definitely embodies like the plush that is me. He's only got these two arms. He's just a really, really interesting Pokemon. These long spikes that protrude out of Rayquaza's head. And then the smaller, shorter spikes on his body. I just think Rayquaza is goated. Another Rayquaza card that I really like is the Dragon's Exalted Secret Rare. My buddy does have that card in a 10. I do really, really like that card. Also, the Dragon's Exalted Full Art Rare. I recently sold that one off, but I would like to get that card in a PSA 10 at some point. That is an incredible card. The Dark Explorer's Groudon in a PSA 10 is an incredible card. Those are two full arts that I really want to have back in my collection at some point. And then the EX Emerald Rayquaza Reverse or Regular Holo in PSA 10. Those are phenomenal. I do have that card, so I am going to show you guys an art that I think is super, super slept on. In fact, both of these arts, in my opinion, are super slept on. But these are two of my like favorite vintage slept on, very like cheap, regular holos. The Secret Rare Groudon from Hidden Legends. I just think that this Groudon is phenomenal. I just think he's phenomenal. I think he deserves a lot more praise, but he just looks awesome. And then you've got this Rayquaza. It's just, oh my god, dude. Look at this art. It's incredible. This thing is incredible. Absolutely gorgeous. So this is like a super slept on Rayquaza art in my opinion that I really, really like. But yeah, you guys know I am a Gen 3 boy. I like Gen 3. But just Rayquaza, Groudon, and Kyogre, just they mean a lot to me. Just the same way that the Hoenn starters, Torchic, Trico, and Mudkip mean a lot to me. But anyways, guys, huge pickup today. Really, really stoked that I get to share it with you guys all. And let me know what you think. Let me know if I should even make the PSA 10 trade. Let me know if you think I should just settle with my 9 and just be happy with it and just stop where I'm at. But I feel like I'm always going to try and chase the next best thing. Anyways, auction video coming up soon. Stay tuned for that. That'll probably be tomorrow. Really, really excited to do that video. If I do end up doing it, I might have other stuff come up. I might spend the day with my family. The girls are leaving to Portugal for the entire month to spend time with Diana's parents over in Portugal. I'm staying here. I'm staying to work and also watch the dogs, but really just to work and continue to earn while they're out in Portugal on vacation. So it's going to be me just alone pretty much all of the end of August through September. So I'm going to be making a lot of content, guys. So in the next couple days, I might not make so much content because I might be spending time with them. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I look forward to doing some videos here shortly. And we've got a lot of amazing things coming for this channel. The channel growth, Grail cards that I have yet to pick up. Giving you guys my life updates, how we're doing on the house hunting and what neighborhoods we're looking at to move into. Are we going to be close to where we are now? Are we going to move really far out of Charlotte? I'm not sure yet, so we're trying to figure that out. Anyways, I want to let you guys go. Thank you guys for supporting the channel, for watching my videos, for allowing me to collect these cards and actually have an audience and a community to share these cards with, right? Because without anybody to share the cards with, they're just cards, right? You need the community. You need people that appreciate this stuff as much as you appreciate it to make it worth it in the end. Anyways, peace, guys.